And the one thing that honestly over the years, I'm even scared to count how many hundreds of thousands of dollars I've lost by not doing this, if not over $1 million.
Okay, awesome. Today, I'm excited to have a conversation with Keith Halabi, a good friend of mine over at our St. Albert Trail location, coming on almost 25-year veteran agent, started in 1998, brings a wealth of experience, and I appreciate, obviously, Keith, you spending some time with me today, give me some great insights. I posed a question to you of, if you were going to start over again today, what are some of the things that you would do differently, right? Knowing what you know now. And so, thanks for taking some time to, come up with some of your ideas. And I guess let's have a conversation. What would you do differently if you were going to start again today?
Well, first of all, thanks for making me feel so old, and no problem there. And the trick to that actually is the picture you use at the office, just never change it, right? You keep your original picture, and everyone thinks you're still this young buck. So
your high school photo, right?
My high school, yeah. I just photoshopped my football jersey out of it, and it was there. So it was good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, doing things different. Like over the years, what's cool about real estate is you're still learning. Like there's things that I did this last year that I've never done, and so it's always evolving. For some of the old guys out there that have been along the ride with me, you still remember when Paragon was still a green and black screen, right? And it was it wasn't even called Paragon. Yeah, it was all these different names. So things change, so you always change with it. But if I were to do anything and go back to before, the first thing probably would be organization. I think if you're organized and you have a system in place, you would be shocked at how much time it saves you, whether it's at the end of the year and you're doing your taxes and you have the right tax folders, or it's the right proper folders. One folder goes to the next folder, and you don't got brokers asking you for paperwork and you're missing things and things like that. And it's real simple. Put a system in place and just follow it in the beginning, rather than being kind of all over the place, because especially when you first start, you think anyone that talks to you is a buyer or seller and they're yours. And so you're running around with people. So I would say organization on the business side is probably one of the things that I would do better. And I mean, you can never be too organized.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So just like, so I heard you talk about taxes. Definitely hear agents run into that all of the time, where they're spending 2-3 full days trying to track down receipts and scanning and inputting and things like that. And so if you did a little bit consistently and you had a system for you to collect those and track them, that would make your life a lot less stressful and keep that going. And the other one I heard you talk about was just straight up with your deal paperwork and your client information, right? So have a CRM where you keep your people in there, and you have a process for adding people and removing people, right, from that list. And then with your paperwork, obviously, when you started, there was no cloud storage. And so I'm assuming having a cloud storage system where you keep your client files organized is something that you would have done earlier on right away, instead of just having that. If you feel like that probably lost you some business by not having that?
Oh yeah, I for sure. And then even on the tax side, there's different ways of losing business too. Like at the tax side, at the end of the year, when I'd sit there and I'd have all these receipts, right, folded up, whether they're gas receipts or lunch receipts or whatever they are, and then you're sitting there organizing them. Sometimes that could be days, and it felt like hell. So I mean, it brought you down, it wasted time, and it doesn't allow you to be out there doing business, right? And you're playing an accountant, or better word, a bookkeeper for a few days. Whereas if you're all organized, you're so organized that even if you gave it to a bookkeeper, the expense is minimal and you wouldn't care.
Great.
Right.
Yeah, great tip.
And that's on the business side. In terms of the CRM, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm really old school, or that's how I've been doing it. CRM, I didn't think about for probably the last 2 years during this COVID thing. When I was sitting, we had more time at home. I started getting a CRM, and I mean, it's not just getting the CRM, it's using the tools in the CRM. There's a lot of little things in the CRM that it's just a click of a button. And I mean, the world's changed, right? It's not. I don't need to do flyers and calendars with my name at the bottom of them anymore. It's a different thing now, right?
Yeah, great. So organization, great tip. Get organized. Have a system for staying organized and follow your own plan, right? Great.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you got next?
The other one, and I literally, I've never had to do it, so I just started doing it like less than a year. I've never been coached. My background is I came from the entrepreneur side, and I went through the business schooling, normal general business schooling. So when I came in, I was implementing all my own stuff. But sitting down, let's say sometimes with you and John are very helpful when it comes to this. And in the past, other brokers, just sitting down and hearing different insight and different ways people do things, it's not a waste of time. You got to listen to them, but you got to follow through with them. And that's where I think the coaching, although it can be expensive, and a lot of people look at it like, holy crap, I'm giving this person, $600, $700, $1,000 a month. It is, and it will be way beneficial for you down the road, because that person is keeping you accountable, especially if the coach is right. Because we're in a lonely business. You can go 15, 20 years where, you got the four walls around you and it's just you and you're doing everything. It's a lonely business. To have that coach kind of kick you in the ass once in a while, excuse the language, you need it, right? It's worth it. So that would be my second one for sure.
Good. Yeah, and we're not censored here, so you're good to let her loose.
Oh yeah.
We talk a lot about like having accountability partners, right? And it can be a lonely business. And so having a buddy or a mastermind group or someone that you can have conversation with about your business and their business and have a little bit of accountability is really massive. It's great for your mindset. And also when you've told somebody else your goals or your intentions, there's a lot higher chance of you actually following through with that just by telling them that's your goal, right? Even a fitness, like, hey, Keith, I'm planning to lose 10 pounds here in the next 2 months. Well, you see me eating some ice cream, you're going to give me some, jabs about it, right? And so just by telling somebody else about it is already a good piece, right? But yeah, the coaching element at a professional level is great, because they're taking some of the best experiences and best results, all across their ecosystem and sharing that information with you. At the end of the day, though, you're the one who has to implement it, right? But a little tweak on a current idea can make a massive difference. So lovely, great point, awesome, cool.
100%. My next thing I would say is around listings specifically. I didn't do much farming, and I think a lot of realtors are guilty of it. Like you get a listing and you hope you can sell it quick, and you hope the sold sticker is going to entice all the neighbors to be like, oh, Keith did a great job there. He sold it in no time. But what is really happening on their end is they're either thinking my neighborhood's so awesome and my house is better than that house. If that sold in 3 days, mine will sell in, half a day, right? Yeah. So if you farm out, you kind of put a little bit, you put some value of what you did on that listing, and it helps a little bit. And the other thing I did for years is you just hope the sign, right, got you the business. And it's, especially now in a busy world, it's not enough. You need something, you know. Went to this recent coaching thing and they said, just, you know, if you get a listing, maybe pick 7 houses on each side and just knock and let them know that the listing's available, right?
Mhm.
So now you're front of mind for these people. And it's something minor, like while you're putting on the key safe, it probably takes you 20 minutes, right? But it could result in something better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love
And
that. I always,
losing weight, and then you get to walk, maybe lose some weight too.
there you go. Get your steps in, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, leverage your listing inventory so that ultimately your listings have babies, right? And I think that's.
And some people in our office doing an absolutely fantastic job of it, right? But you know, and you learn from those people. You see what they're doing, and then and this is stuff that, you know, like, although it's been 23, 24 years, a lot of the stuff you still pick up, you know, last week, right? So
love that. Yeah, be a lifelong learner, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, great tip. Yeah.
I probably have two more left. And the first one, the second last one is probably more of a life one. And it's something that I struggle with. And it's something, to be honest, and it's something that I'm still trying to work on. And you got to do it slowly because that's just not the way me personally is built. And I think the get up early and start early. I think a lot of people do not realize by an early start, just by those 2 or 3 things that you do can make you so much more productive for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, right? And that's something like, I'm a night owl, so it's hard for me, but I'm slowly training myself 15-minute increments of slowly getting up earlier and earlier and doing more of my stuff in the morning. And I think with real estate, that's huge because a lot of realtors won't admit it. They join real estate to set their own hours, and because they don't want somebody telling them what to do and waking up early and whatever. So if you get up early, you're going to have to start.
Yeah, that's that's massive. And there's lots of like 5 a.m. club people that will meet regularly.
That's a little too early for me.
It's a bit early for a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's great because, I mean, here's the thing. You and I are talking about what would you do differently if you were going to start over again. And if you're starting a brand new business and you're breaking into becoming a real estate agent and setting up your business for success, get up and grind, right? Like, you know, what are you doing? If you're waking up at noon, you know, how is that serving your business, right? And so, you know, you want to get the administrative or CEO time, business planning, those types of things out of the way for when your audience is up, right? So at that time, now you can be engaging and have conversations and make contacts, right? So,
for sure.
Great. Love it. Great tip. Yeah.
And the last thing that, again, and all these things, by no means am I an expert on them. I'm still working on each and every one of them till today. And the one thing that honestly over the years, I'm even scared to count how many hundreds of thousands of dollars I've lost by not doing this. If not over $1 million over 23 years, because it's only over the years I've been, it's less than 50 grand a year. I didn't keep in touch with my clients and my database the way I should have. I didn't have enough touches. I didn't make enough phone calls. I wasn't there. A lot of people, and a lot of it came from that 04, 05, 06, 07 era. We were so busy and running around that, I'll get them later, but I got a guy to show. I got to show him right now. I'll call him later because I got a listing I got to do right now. And you just get into that wheelhouse and then you never reach back to him. But what you don't realize is the guy that bought, for example, for me, the guy that bought in 04 and sold in 07 and made 120 grand and upgraded his house, right? Yeah. I missed them because I wasn't in touch with them. And he called that sign that was listed 3 doors down, right? So that is something out of everything that is probably the number one thing that I would say if I were to start over, I would, you know, punch myself in the face to make sure I do it.
service your database in
Yeah.
a higher way. Love on your database, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
because you did all the hard work already of earning that business and building that relationship, you gotta nurture that crop, right? And so otherwise you're just doing new and now business all of the time. And that can be a bit more of a grind, right? So
and you can ask those people for business. Like I always took the ask for business is something that I've learned in the last few years. I never used to do that before because I felt like I don't want to intrude. I don't want to force them. You know, they're my client. I'm taking care of them. His sister's not really my client, but all I have to do is ask, and then he would talk me up, for example, to his sister, and there you go.
Yeah,
it's not, and they expect it. I think nowadays, I think it's a common thing that our clients kind of expect it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you know, hey, I'll take really special care of them, right? You can come across genuine and service focused without being like commission breath or sounding desperate or beggy, right? You're just like, yeah, I'm great at what I do, and I'll take care of you and also people that you know, and make sure that they get special attention. Easy as that, right? Yeah. But I like that. You don't ask, you don't get, right? So
exactly.
That's awesome.
So that's my Yoda session. That's all I got. That's all I got for
awesome.
I wish it was deeper and more fancy, but no, it's the basics, man. Just stay on top of the basics.
Well, I think, you know, and thank you for being vulnerable with your business. And so I know that, you know, we have a high image business, and, you know, I hear what you talk about regularly, right? And so it's really great advice for agents at all stages. And even knowing that you would do things differently if you were going to start again, but a lot of these things you're like, no, I'm putting more effort on it now, you know, 25 years into the business. It says a lot about the advice that you're giving out. And very much appreciate you spending some time with us today and being a resource. And so I know that any of the agents that are out there want to, you know, pick your brain or, you know, use you as a resource. You're always happy to give some sage advice. So appreciate that very much, Keith.
Let them come to the north side, the better side of the city. I know those Strathcona guys get worried when they cross Yellowhead Trail, but it's still safe out here. So come on up.
For a small fee, you'll offer them some protection, or is that
we'll offer some protection. You know, we got crowbars in the back right by the coffee maker. It's all good.
That's awesome. All right, brother. Okay, have an amazing day. Appreciate your time again. Take care.
You too. Take care, man. Thank you.